Ever notice how some people love to push your limits, interrupt, passive-aggressively argue, or treat your time and feelings as disposable? We're meant to smile and ignore it. Not today. This video is for you if you're tired of disrespect. Today, I'll discuss brutally honest and possibly controversial ways to confront disrespect without losing your calm or self-respect. Prepare to have all the tools you need to show where the line is drawn by the end of this. Let's dive in. Number 1. Embrace the silent stare. Let's begin with a silent stare, one of my favorite little cruel methods. Really? Just staring? Yes, just trust me, nothing turns off a rude or disrespectful person like a long, calm, unbothered stare. It works because disrespectful individuals want a reaction. They want you to stutter, panic, and possibly snap. You're meant to get caught up in their drama and feel inferior. The power dynamic changes when you just gaze at them. No words, no reactions. Now, I understand. This may sound passive-aggressive, but hear me out. It's unnerving when someone doesn't react as expected. Holding a steady, wordless stare says, "I'm not playing this game with you." It reclaims power without speaking. Sometimes a silent stare is the strongest no you'll ever express. So let me tell you when this strategy worked like magic. One guy constantly interrupted me in a group meeting like he was on a mission. They're boisterous, overconfident, and assume everyone's listening to their expertise. I tried interrupting and being nice, but he kept on. Finally, I looked at him. Sitting back, I crossed my arms and stared at him. No blinking, no expression, just looked for 5 seconds. I remained silent. You could feel the stress. The best part, everyone at the table looked at him, unsure of his next move. You know what happened. Suddenly uncomfortable, he stuttered over his words and glanced away from me. Avoided interrupting me throughout the meeting. That wordless stare spoke more than words. It stopped his conduct in the moment, but he started respecting me after that, as if he realized I wasn't someone he could bulldoze. Sometimes you must show who you are without speaking. This is more than a power move, so let's go deeper. Accepting the silent stare reminds them and yourself that you don't have to follow their lead. You don't have to prove yourself to unappreciative individuals or give them an emotional reaction. Take back your space, peace, and dignity. Too often, when someone is rude, we feel the need to defend ourselves or let it go to avoid a fight. The silent stare. Aggression is not involved. Showing you're calm, in control, and unapologetic is key. Accountability matters too. Used to disregarding others, they do it unconsciously. No one has called them out or punished them for mistreating others. Giving them that silent, deadpan stare is like holding a mirror. They suddenly face their own behavior. Show them, not tell them. Most people dislike seeing themselves that way. That's why it works. I've discovered that silent stares do more than deter. It also boosts self-esteem. Stand silently and still to remind yourself that their words or actions can't shake you. I used to awkwardly laugh off nasty comments or defend my choices, but honestly, it sapped my energy and made me feel worse. Learning to stare at someone and allow the stillness fill the space without retreating changed everything. It comes across as a quiet but powerful defiance and self-respect. If someone is nasty, pushing boundaries, or making you feel inferior, attempt the quiet stare. Look at them. Let your calm fall on them. Their discomfort and your empowerment will surprise you. The silent stare indicates, I respect myself too much to get dragged into your negativity. A worthwhile message. Number 2. Answer silently. Silence is an undervalued weapon. One of the strongest responses to disrespect is silence. Silence seems passive, like you're letting them get away with it. Right. Silence is not passive. Sometimes it's the bravest, loudest choice. Negativity is meant to draw you into their drama and make you feel tiny or defensive. However, letting their remarks linger in the air without replying pushes them to face their own actions. How about that silence? Quite loud. This works well because the disrespectful anticipate a response. They want a quarrel, justification, or validation for their behavior. Silence means, I'm not giving you my energy. By not talking, you're controlling the conversation and saying, I'm not here to entertain your disrespect. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful form of communication. A gentle, unobtrusive reminder that they're not worth your time or words. I once met someone who couldn't resist making these tiny digs. They cloak their insults as jokes and try to pass them off as harmless fun. He made a pointless comment about my work to get a rise out of me. Usually, I would have explained or commented. This time, I just stared at him, arched an eyebrow, and said nothing. I let his words linger. Let him experience that awkward silence. You know what? Not knowing what to do. I looked at him. He looked down, muttered, and left. That was his last attempt to pull that with me. He seemed to know that I had no power if I didn't react. Silence is beautiful because it denies contempt the attention it seeks, the underlying meaning. Quiet is self-choice. Saying, I value my peace over your opinion of me, is revolutionary and liberating. We often feel forced to explain ourselves, defend our choices, or prove our worth to individuals who don't respect us. By choosing silence, you're breaking their rules, taking a stand without acting. You say you're not worth my words. Not simply controlling the issue, but regaining your energy. Silence filters away others' negativity, keeping your peace. You free yourself when you stop responding to every harsh statement or passive-aggressive jab. Stop sharing your inner world and live on your own terms. I'll admit, learning silence wasn't easy. I used to think not defending myself made me look weak or meek, but I noticed something intriguing. Every time I responded to disrespect, I felt exhausted and furious. When I held my tongue and let their comments pass like white noise, I felt lighter, stronger, and more in control. I lost authority every time I chose silence over reaction. My challenge: pause when someone disrespects you. Inhale, look them in the eye, and remain silent. Let your quiet speak. You may be astonished by how unpleasant and liberated they become. Answer with quiet. Sometimes silence is the strongest statement. Number 3. Stop explaining your choices. This one will hit home for many. Stop explaining your choices. How often have you made a decision and someone asked why? You did that why? Why not attend that event? You took that job. Why? People assume they deserve an explanation for everything we do. The truth is, they're not. You don't have to justify your life choices. Though contentious, let's face it, someone questioning your decisions usually wants to judge, not understand. They want to make you doubt yourself or feel better about their choices by making you doubt yours. You know what? You needn't participate. Stop explaining yourself to recover your autonomy and show them your life isn't debatable. We should examine why people feel entitled to an explanation. People often criticize your choices because they threaten their worldview. You may be taking a risk they're afraid of, or breaking the standard they find reassuring. Your independence or unconventionality may unnerve people. They want you to explain to get you back in their comfort zone. However, just because they're uncomfortable doesn't mean you have to soothe them. Life isn't a PSA. You don't need to defend your choices. I recall switching careers from a stable job to something I loved but was riskier. People treated it like I was moving to Mars when they heard. Many said, "Why would you leave a stable job? How will you make it work?" I began by explaining. I talked about my plan and wanting more fulfillment. I soon understood that no matter what I said, it was never enough. As I talked, more people questioned me, poking holes and making me feel like I had to prove myself. I tried something fresh one day. "But why would you leave that job?" I answered, "Because I wanted to." No strategy or details. Really, that felt great. The resulting stillness was everything. People didn't know how to respond, since I took away their right to question my decisions. You know what? They stopped asking. The joy of not explaining oneself is freedom. Standing in your truth is believing that your decisions are enough because you made them. When you stop explaining your actions, you can live honestly without others' expectations. This is powerful. Your life doesn't need an audience vote. Not all decisions need analysis or approval. When you stop explaining, you say, "I'm confident enough in my choices that I don't need your approval." When was the last time you observed a confident individual explain their decisions? Probably never. Life owners don't require external affirmation because they realize only their own approval matters. Yes, I was there. To garner support, I used to deliver a PowerPoint presentation on why I was doing something. Over time, I learned that explaining myself to everyone made me doubt my choices. I promised myself to answer questions concerning decisions in a phrase or two. If they insist, I smile and go on. You know what? Life became lighter. I felt more confidence in my choices as I ceased explaining. I challenge you, don't justify your choices when someone questions them. Say, "Because I wanted to," or "That's what felt right for me." Then let quiet speak. Watch how powerful that simple phrase is. Your strength, control, and inner calm will increase. The best part, your choices are valid because you made them, not because others approve. Number 4. Keep your distance. Please be honest. Sometimes the easiest approach to manage disrespectful people is to stay away. It may seem harsh or cold, but not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. A healthy approach is to separate from someone who constantly disrespects you. This doesn't mean you detest them or are theatrical. You respect yourself enough to safeguard your energy. Instead of being nasty or ignoring people, keeping your distance is about selecting where and how you spend your time and energy. Imagine your life as a VIP club, not open to all. Why stay close to someone who crosses your limits, makes you feel tiny, or radiates negativity? Step back if necessary. Indeed, it matters. Distance can clear the way for honest perception, free of emotional manipulation and guilt. Remember that keeping disrespectful individuals around is like inviting them to a mental and emotional buffet where they can take criticize, and judge, then we wonder why we're exhausted, nervous, or frustrated. Escape from these folks is self-preservation. Maintaining your mental health, calm, and space for others who appreciate and uplift you are key. Avoiding guilt over distance can be liberating. You don't have to associate with impolite people. Telling a narrative. My former acquaintance would make snarky remarks about my career, relationships, and music tastes. I initially thought, that's how they are. I thought it wasn't that important, so I kept them around and tried to ignore it. But eventually, those little barbs got under my skin. I realized I was always on guard, bracing for the next critique or punchline. I tried a new method one day. I didn't announce or criticize them. I decreased my time with them. I might see them once a month instead of weekly. And guess what? Feeling lighter, feeling freer. In that space, I recognized how toxic the friendship was. Distancing myself helped me realize I deserved better. Friends who would nurture me rather than tear me down. Some say keeping your distance is selfish. People say, but they're family. You've been friends for years. Admitting that a close friend is unhealthy might be awkward or inappropriate. This is a secret. Guarding your tranquility is necessary, not selfish. Don't be anyone's emotional punching bag or continual validation. Stepping back is sometimes the best way to say enough. Here, it gets serious. Keeping your distance emphasizes your importance. You need not play someone else's role. You owe no one your mind, time, or emotions. Putting distance between yourself and disrespectful people says your well-being comes first. This is self-respect, not just self-care. Number 5. Hold your head high. Holding your head high is a timeless classic. This may seem like generic advice, but it's gold when dealing with disrespectful people. Disrespectful people want to make you feel tiny. They urge you to mistrust, close your eyes, and shrink. Without expressing it, standing straight and holding your head high says, I know exactly who I am, and nothing you say or do will make me feel less. This is powerful. Confidence makes people uncomfortable, especially disrespecters. Why? They believe their words or actions may affect or dominate you. You show them they can't bring you down by standing straighter and holding your head up. No one can break you. Disrespect lovers don't know what to do. Their balance is upset. It challenges their power, not yours. Someone used to insult me every time we met. They always smirk and make jokes that feel like attacks. I tried to ignore it, but it got to me. I dreaded being with them and felt like I had to protect myself. I determined to stop feeling small one day. When they made small comments, I looked them in the eye, smiled, and carried on if nothing had occurred. You know what happened? They started retreating. They seemed to know that I was too beyond that crap to hear their comments anymore. Suddenly, they lost electricity. Keeping your head up is magnetic. Imagine a silent force field saying, I'm untouchable. It gets spicy here. Respectless people hate seeing you confident. It disrupts their worldview. They want to feel superior and have something on you. Walking confidently breaks that narrative, almost offensive to them. Holding your head high isn't about them, all about you. It means living as if you know your worth and have nothing to prove. And that can feel like radical self-respect. You express self-worth by holding your head high. You declare that you are valuable, deserving of respect, and sufficient at all times. Self-worth is something you claim, not something others give you. You live as if you had everything you need, regardless of what others think, because you do. Holding your head up reminds you that you're the main character in your own story and that no one else's opinion matters. And its beauty? Practice makes contempt less noticeable. You'll be too busy living in your own lane and confident in yourself to care about others' attempts to bring you down. This was difficult for me. Slouching, avoiding eye contact, and shrinking when others were harsh or contemptuous were my habits. Disappearing felt safer. But over time, I saw that I felt stronger when I kept my head high and refused to allow others' negative affect me. I kept reminding myself that I didn't need anyone's approval to be worthy. I was confident in myself. Mental and physical posture are both part of holding your head up. Enter every room like you belong. Don't shrink to match someone else's expectations. Allow nasty comments to pass. They transfer their inadequacies onto you. Why worry? I challenge you, don't react when you're insulted, whether it's a subtle dig or an insult. Draw your shoulders back. Breathe deeply and keep your head high. Make eye contact as if to say, I see you, but I'm above this. You'll feel confident and at rest knowing their remarks don't matter. Holding your head up is more than just good posture. It transmits self-respect silently. It says, I know who I am. I value who I am. And nothing you say can change that. Conclusion. 5 methods to confront disrespectful people. Embrace the silent stare. Let silence be your answer. Stop justifying your decisions. Keep your distance and hold your head high. Life is too short to slave for those who don't value you. Remember, you may stand up, preserve your peace, and live life on your terms without permission. People will try to bring you down, test your boundaries, and question your choices. That's life. You choose what energy to let in. You set the tone for your treatment. The best part, taking care of your self-respect will help you attract people who see how valuable you are and will pull you up instead of bringing you down. Being aware of your own ability is the first step. The rest will take care of itself. Keep your head up. Enjoy the silence when it's right for you. And never feel bad about leaving something that doesn't serve you. Thanks for watching. If this helped you, please give it a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe for more content on taking charge of your life and building the courage to do well. Send this to someone who needs to be reminded to be strong. Leave a comment below if you have a story about how you dealt with rudeness or set limits. I would love to hear it. Take care, stay strong, and know that respect starts with you until we talk again.